What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to the review for the Carabao Cup game between Chelsea 2 and Blackburn Rovers 0. I am back, your host with the most, Marshalldbdx. Thank you very much to Andrew, who took control and manned the ships while I was away. Thank you guys for being nice to him and not, clattering him too much. But I'm back, ready than ever, better than ever. With my panel here of Oliver, Ahmed, Scott, and Real Chris. Before we go ahead and get this review started, guys, as usual, you know what to do. Smash up the likes. We need to get as much likes as possible on this video so we can get that algorithm working in our favor. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because you know why you come to this channel, okay? If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. You like the content, you're here. Put your feet up, relax a little, subscribe. So check out the links in the description below. You'll see everyone's channels, Ahmeds, Sarcasm City, the Twitter for Casually Chelsea, so on and so forth. So Casually FC. So check that out. And also leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the show and everything we're going to discuss in regards to today's game. And last but not least, if you are a member, big up to you guys. Make sure you're spamming those emojis in the chat. And if you haven't done so already, do check out the memberships. We have 4 different tiers starting at 99p, as simple as a stick, as cheap as a stick of gum. There you go. So go ahead, do so, and
is it really?
Support the channel. I don't know. I can't imagine a stick of gum being more than $1. That's pretty absurd if it is. 50 cents.
I don't really think so these days, mate. You know what I mean? It's a bit more expensive. $1.19 usually.
I mean, that's if you're buying like Wrigley's or Big Red or some shit. No Hubba Bubba or Big Chew, whatever the fuck.
Man,
I don't know. I can't think of any
high
more
quality
gums.
early. High quality early, man.
5 gum. All right. But ladies and gents, we won a game again. It feels good to win again. Holy crap. But was it a convincing win? No, I'm not so sure. So we're going to discuss it. Quick summary of the game. BADIASHILE makes his comeback. It's nice to see the guy back doing his thing. And you know what? He comes back strong. Puts his name on the scoreboard 30 minutes into the game and scores a pretty nice goal. Really controlled, composed goal. Puts in the back of the net, giving us the lead. And then I would say the first half was pretty not convincing, not very good. Actually, quite boring at times. We were trying to control the ball often and really not doing much with it. And so very anticlimactic first half, especially for a particular Raheem Sterling. Going into the second half, though, he turned it on, and in the 59th minute, we see him score a brilliant goal, and he had himself quite a few moments in the second half as well. That was impressive. It's like he woke up, he stopped thinking. I think that's what Raheem Sterling does, and kills him is thinking. When he starts thinking, he just freezes up and starts making the bad choices. But he looked good in the second half. Cole Palmer looking great as usual as well. This kid's been really impressive since he's come into this team. And Chelsea get away with a 2-0 victory in the Carabao Cup. We're going to see who we draw in the middle of the stream. So hopefully it's a simple side and we can see ourselves in the final soon. But ladies and gents, I'm going to leave it to the panel. Scott, I'll start off with you, man. What'd you think of the game today?
We're not good. Like, I just have to make that plain. We're not, like, in terms of the way we, but at the same time, we won. So, like,
yeah,
can't complain too much. There are still some things about the team and in particular the manager that I have huge question marks over. But Andrew's mentioned this before, when it comes to cup competitions, a win's a win. Right, it doesn't always have to be the prettiest. Like, we're into the quarterfinals now. Excuse me. Yeah, we're into the quarterfinals now. Obviously, got a good chance, depending on who we face, of potentially getting into the semis. At which point, you can really start to determine whether you have a chance of winning this thing, especially considering at that point we'll have players back, and the almighty Nkunku will be back and all that. Yeah, we're just still not good. Like, and that first half was an example of that. Second half improved massively. Like, we improved tenfold in the second half. A lot better. Sterling. Who else improved? And to be fair, he was kind of the main one, because I thought like the first half was good from everyone like from mostly everyone apart from the front line, taking out Palmer. But yeah, like I thought Sterling improved. He was the main one. We just looked a little bit better in the second half. But yeah, there's still some things to work on.
Real Chris, what are your thoughts on the game overall?
We like Scott said, we was poor. I was like in and out the game trying to make food and everything because Chelsea today was in second gear for most of the time. We didn't really press them or anything like that. Our attacking players didn't really do a whole lot. Our defense did enough, you know. We kept the clean sheet. Sanchez had to do a little bit, like at the end, where he made that somewhat decent save. Where was he number 7 for Blackburn? I'm not too sure. He should have put that one away. He should have put that one away. But you know, we kept the clean sheet at least. We were just in second. To me, we were just in second gear. We weren't really trying to do a whole lot. We were just trying to get a result and just move on to the next game because we got a very important game, obviously on Monday. So maybe it's because of that we weren't really like wasting too much energy on a game like this, and we shouldn't really need to waste a lot of energy on this game. But it was frustrating. Like Sterling, he was a frustrating player in the first half. I will admit, like he was very frustrating. A lot of us as well. Jackson as well. Very frustrating. He weren't doing anything good today. Like either his shooting, it would just go off target. His touches, it would just go badly. There's only a couple of times where I see Jackson do something decent where he takes on a couple of players, but that's about it really. And yeah, Gallagher, he was Gallagher, like not as good as he normally would be, but yeah, I just honestly felt like second gear Chelsea today. Really, it wasn't a whole lot. Kind of boring, I will say.
Sure. We're gonna save the best for last. Oliver, what do you think, man?
I mean, I was very, very surprised to see how strong the lineup was. You know, starting first choice goalkeeper, which at the very least I would have expected a rotation there just to get Petrovic on the pitch. But you know, Sanchez was fine and he did make the save at the end. And yeah, it was pretty much a full strength 11, unless you want to say that the injuries were maybe a bit of a risk playing James and BADIASHILE off injuries. But, you know, we won the game. Like Scott said, you know, it's nothing to, you know, you can't take anything away from this and say, you know, we're back. There's just nothing there. You know, we had to rely on BADIASHILE scoring and then an error from them playing out the back to give Sterling the goal. So I just don't really take much from it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Blackburn. We should be beating Blackburn whether we're in this state or whether we're challenging for titles. That's just the reality of it. So I don't really look too much into it. At this point, I'm just glad no one got injured today. That's all.
True. That's a good point. All right, on to Somalian Blade. What are your thoughts, bro?
Listen, man. You know, Chelsea, they've won. You know what I mean? Let's give them credit. They're through to the quarterfinal. You know, at the end of the day, I know that you wanted that. I always said that we need to hopefully get as deep as you can into any competition, whether it be FA Cup or Carabao Cup, at the end of the day, and they've been able to do so. So that's a positive. Let's go on to the negative, okay? And I'm gonna put it quite simply, bro. I don't know what are we cooking, bro. Like, can you tell me how you play, bro?
Free ball.
Can you tell me? No, but I'm being serious.
Play.
What is the style of play of this team, bro? Because
Today,
even, you know, in general, what is Chelsea's style of play?
Our style of play is Cole Palmer.
Yeah, I give the ball to Carl Palmer.
That's the problem. But like, you know, because like that is obviously a big part, because I don't feel like we have a style of play. You know, if we, you know, like, you know, we talk a lot about individual brilliance.
Look at that comment.
Chelsea literally is individual brilliance, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That I feel like, listen, don't make me open it, man. Don't make me, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But honestly,
this guy's gonna go out killing vampires after this show, man.
Hey, listen, man. This is first of all, this is Zangetsu. Let's get it right. You know what I'm saying? It's a bleach sword, but like, honestly, it's actual. I
don't care what kind of tofu you got, man. Talk about the game.
Shut up, man. Okay, no, but seriously, okay. But like, obviously, I spoke about style of play and like how I feel like there's not really a style of play that's going on. You know, and I know all of us here are watching on Discord, for example, and I think Scott made like a good point of the fact that positioning is another thing. There were times where you're seeing guys like our midfielders were higher than our attackers at time. But then if they can be above us, for example, but who's like protecting that space?
Feels like there's no organization in the
Exactly.
team
It's like
at
and like
times.
and for me, that all comes down to
Poch.
COACH, coach. And what are we doing on that? Because like what's making this worse for me, and like it really annoys me is that people are like give it time, give it this, give it that. But like guys, let's be honest, one game a week pretty much, unless we're not playing Carabao Cup, one game a week, more than 6 to 7 days we've got with him. What are we doing in those training sessions? Just rondos. We're just doing rondos, guys.
Maybe he just told the players today, just express yourselves.
But it's not just today, Chris.
It's
like
all the time.
yes. It's not
Okay,
just today.
Last game, yeah, I will admit, like last game was poor too, but like
But
today
this is the
it's just one
problem.
of those games,
But
like, where it's
this
just
is my
Blackburn.
problem with with what's going on. Like I can't see a style of play. I'm not seeing I'm not seeing coaching going on with the players specifically. And listen, yeah, I'll be honest, it's easy for me because I like to cuss Sterling out all the time. For me to cuss out Sterling, but at the same time, yeah, it's not gonna help Sterling, for example, if there's no one rushing into the box, or if there's not enough bodies in the box to help him to do something. Like, if I'm being honest, and that's not gonna help him at all. But like when it comes down to it, yeah, that's what this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Where I'm not seeing a style of play, nothing's kind of working. I just need Pochettino to do his job. That's all I'm asking for. But on Monday we will do well. I'll be honest with you guys. He'll play the highline football, and because we can play to our highline for some reason, we'll be able to do it. But when after this run, after Manchester City, I think we have I think it's either United afterwards, then Sheffield, then West Ham. I think we've got Newcastle actually after this. Before
Newcastle.
We got Newcastle pretty soon as well.
Yeah, I was talking about obviously Newcastle.
Yeah,
Low block here. They're gonna play that low block here nicely.
they're just organised. I don't think
And
they
then
play a whole
and
lot.
they play that low block nicely, and we are not going to be able to break them at all.
That is something that is concerning for me because it feels
And
like
just before we finish, I'll give you all the time you want, bro. After this, quickly. I was making this point. Yeah, I made this point previously. When we lost to Brentford. Have you noticed the pattern of the games we've won and the games we've lost? The games we've won are against teams that are able to move through the back, played some level of like a high line, right? We've been able to do really well against them. But against the low block sides, we've either lost or drawn against them.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you were saying about the organization, it's usually we see this mostly in the second half when Poch starts to make these subs. I've noticed that we go into these formations that just absolutely make no sense to me, and it takes us a hot minute to figure out what kind of formation he's playing. And then we have players playing out of position and all types of madness. It gets very confusing, and it makes you question what exactly Poch is thinking. Listen, sure, today he may have gotten away with it, but there will be games where he doesn't. And we saw that what happened with Brentford. He thought he would be clever by trying to play right back in Disasi and came back and bit him in the ass. And again, it's just one of those things that it's frustrating to see, and I hope that we come to a point where Poch stops fucking around so much with this lineup and these formations. But yeah, I hope he fixes up. Now, going back to what Scott had mentioned earlier, Scott, you mentioned you had issues with the lineup. I would like to dissect that. What issues did you exactly have with the lineup?
Oh, I had no issues with the lineup.
Oh, the formation? I think you had issues with something.
No,
my
issues in the game came from the fact of like there's no Ahmed kind of mentioned it earlier, but like there's no positional awareness, and not positional awareness is the wrong word. There's no understanding with these players where just I'll use examples because that's the easiest way I can explain it. There was a moment in that second half where Ugachukwu picked up the ball and he was the furthest player forward in our team. That's your DM picking the ball up where your striker's meant to be, because the striker dropped into centre mid to pick the ball up, because your cam had dropped to play right back. The right back was still in the right back position, just slightly wider. So you're basically playing a back five. Your right winger had stepped into midfield, so there's no width on the right hand side. You got Sterling standing about as far wide as he could possibly be on the left hand side. Like, there's no understanding for these players, and I understand it from a player perspective because a lot of these guys are young and they haven't played with a lot of these guys before, so it's like that comes from the coach. These guys don't understand that when, like, there was a moment as well where Palmer vacated the right-hand side to step into midfield to pick the ball up, and the guy who was meant to be taking his spot was Gallagher, but Gallagher was sitting so narrow he was almost playing like another midfielder. So that again, there was
Sterling
no
did a lot
width on the
too.
right. Our width on the right-hand side at that moment was Reece, but Reece wasn't pushing up at that point. So again, there was no width on the right-hand side. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. And we saw the same nonsense in the first half. We saw it as well, because I noticed that someone on Twitter commented about this, where every time we got the ball on the left-hand side, they were isolated every single time, apart from a couple of times when Sterling and Cucurella had a couple of nice bits of interchange. Whoever picked the ball up on the left-hand side was isolated, whether it was Jackson, whether it was Cucurella, whether it was Sterling. Whoever picked the ball up was isolated. Same thing we saw from Madueke at the weekend. And this keeps coming back to the same point. We can keep talking about the players, and some of the players do need to do better. Yes, like for example, Sterling first half terrible, Gallagher not good today, Jackson horrible today, like horrible performance today. But there's certain basic things where, like, rotations, like understanding where players need to be, those sort of things, that comes from the coach. And it's quite clear to me that Poch does not do anything on the training ground. He doesn't train. He doesn't do coaching. I'm convinced of that by now. There's no way he does coaching.
I hate to say this, and I think I recall some time ago that I read a tweet on it. I forgot what the source was. May have been the Zarkincella. I recall that they had mentioned something about one of the players in the dressing room had reported essentially that the way Poch goes about coaching is he just tells them to express themselves. Very similar to how Lampard basically approached it. It makes me think that they, or Potter even. Yeah, sure. It makes me think that maybe we are just letting the players just do what they want on the pitch and not really follow a tactic.
What's stupid about that and why it doesn't work? Because we've had like Tuchel did the same thing. The issue Tuchel had is the guys we had weren't good enough players to be able to just express themselves. Like, we had the likes of Werner, Havertz, Mount, Ziyech, Pulisic. Like, we had guys that weren't really good enough to, even when they expressed themselves, they couldn't really create something by themselves. Now we've got guys that are, for me, are good enough to create something by themselves, but they've got the problem of they're too young. Like a lot of the guys, Sterling's different, and Palmer's a little different just because he's got that coaching of Pep, so he's a bit understanding. Yeah. But the likes of Jackson, the likes of Madueke, the likes of Mudryk, like, he started to improve, but before, like, a lot of these guys, they're young, so they need to express themselves, but you need to put the system and you need to put the coaching behind it in terms of, look at what Pep's done with Doku. Doku is able to express himself in that City team, but instead of relying on complete, like, what's the word? Just instinct on everything. It's instinct in the right areas because the system's set in place and he knows what he needs to do in the system. But when he gets to a certain point that the system has allowed him to get to, that's the moment which he needs to start using his instinct and he expresses himself. With this team, it's expressed himself the entire way. From literal back to front, from the moment that our goalkeeper plays the ball out to the moment we get into the attacking third and into the box, it's express yourself the entire way. There's no system to get you to that point. It's express yourself the entire way. From front to back, an entire phase of play, it's just express yourself the whole way. That's madness. That's utterly insane. There were times today, especially in that second half, which was surprising considering that was our better half, where there were times in that game where there was some shit I was seeing in Lampard. Everyone remembers the Lampard hexagon. It was the same sort of shit I'm talking about. Yeah. Where Chukwuemeka's picking the ball up. It's not Chukwuemeka. Ugo Chukwu picking the ball up.
Circle it around.
Like, I'm seeing people just, there's no shape. At times we were playing like a 4-4, like, wasn't even a 1. It was like a 5-5 because there was no striker.
Bro, there was times, literally,
it took us 3 with no striker, and like it's madness.
It took us 3 minutes, by the way, at one point in the second half, to get from the back to the front of the into attack mode,
which is insane considering the opposition.
But again, you look at the squad, very young squad. This is why Poch needs to be given the tactics, the in-game management, the stuff that is meant to be coaching off the pitch, so where they know where to be when things happen.
So let me ask you guys this, or at least give a perspective and see if you guys agree. Do you think that Poch's approach might be to take these players and these young players and take them individually, one-on-one, and try to coach them and mold them into being these players that can express themselves? Because you see, like, just examples, right? Examples, we're seeing how Cole Palmer's playing. Maybe he got it from Pep. So let's move on to Mudryk, right? Mudryk is playing brilliantly now. He's almost, I would say, like, undroppable. Cucurella, another player that's been has picked it up tremendously since he started, since Joel's been injured, you know, and we're seeing it a little bit also in the likes of Sterling. Sterling is having a better season this season so far than last season, I would say. So do you think maybe it's an individual approach versus a whole team and system approach?
But the problem, bro, with your school of thought here is that the individual.
I'm just saying a perspective, like what you know.
Sorry, let me say perspective instead, boss. For you, yeah?
Fucking gaslighting me over here, Ahmed. Goddamn it.
Yeah. Like, the thing with the individual approach here should come secondary to the system approach, in my opinion. You should have the system first, and then if you need them to express yourself, once it gets to that point that Scott was saying in the system, they can do that. That's where you that's where you tell them, coach them in that individuality aspect, bro. But you first will have to have a solid base where everything is working from. You get what I'm trying to say? Have the base there.
I feel build a foundation.
Build the foundation first, and then if you need them to, you know, be like Kyrie Irving or something like that, hezzy tween, gang, whatever you need them to be, afterwards. But first, get them trained in your actual system, and then if you need them to unlock their latent ability, whether it be creativity, whether it be finishing, whether it be passing, then you go from there. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Okay, I thought.
You know, I'll just say something quickly. I was going to say, because this is kind of how, like, the approach that Pep and Klopp take to their new signings most of the time. You know, they already have the settled core, and I know in their case it's a title-winning team, so it's a much different level to ours. But the point still stands that they have their system down, and they have the key players there, and they know what they're doing. They can literally spend a whole season just, you know, warming these guys up to the system, and then they come in the next year, and, you know, they spend that whole first year just on individual, and then they're ready. We don't have that right now because we're trying to coach a system into how many players. You know, you just can't do that when there's no settled base right now. Just like Ahmed said, you have to have the settled base, and then you can start looking at individuals like Pep and Klopp do.
That's what I was going to say. We haven't got the luxury of like a spine of a team. We literally bought a new team. Like we replaced a lot of players and brought in a new players from the last 2 seasons. So it's definitely going to take time to settle in. Like we can't like have the luxury of like, you know, easing players in because they're all new players. So a lot of new players have to come in. Has to start from the get go. Like I think what you're trying to basically say, or what you were saying.
Okay, so let's start to talk about individual players, and let's start off with someone that had a lot of comments talked about them by the press after the game, and that'll be Reece James. So let me read off some tweets that Mauricio Pochettino had to say about Reece. And to be honest, before we start this as well, Reece, not a very prolific performance, but it's not expected to be, considering he's just returning back from fitness. So Mauricio Pochettino had to say this: after Saturday, it was important for us to go through competitions, build confidence. Players like BADIASHILE and James to play an hour is very important. In November, it is like a preseason game because of this situation. And that's true. The plan was to check at halftime how Reece feels. After 15 minutes, he started to feel tired. The second half, he was a little bit tired, and we need to be careful now how we manage him. In that moment, we made a change. It's important now, the progression, to be careful and not to go back. We cannot avoid 100% risk, but the plan is to go little by little. And then it is really important to have Reece James back. It's important your captain, stay fit and can help the team. One of the best fullbacks in the world. Little by little, he will get fit, cope with the demand of the games. So, you know, that being said, after reading that, it looks like we're managing Reece James, which is good. We should. He's a really good player. We all know that, obviously. We don't want him to get hurt again. And if he does get hurt again, then we have a lot of difficult conversations to have about Reece James. I believe Poch said in an earlier presser as well, they're trying to avoid open surgery. They're trying to
surgery in general.
Surgery in general. They're trying to find a means to fix the hamstring issue without having to, you know, resort to that. So, listen, I think I agree with this. We have Malo Gusto, and if you want to really play Cucurella at right back, we've seen he can do the job. Take your time with it. I do want to see him get minutes, though. We don't need to overuse him. He should be rotated. And, you know, today I didn't expect him to be the brilliant Reece James that we know, but I don't know. Your thoughts overall, guys, on Reece James' performance today?
It's all about sharpness at the minute for Reece James to his return, like fitness, sharpness. I thought maybe he might get a goal today, you know. I thought, you know, Reece James to get a goal. I was saying in Discord. But yeah, he obviously didn't look like the world-class Reece James today or nothing like that, but you can tell he's just trying to get into fitness. Nothing more. For example, next game, I still wouldn't risk playing Reece James for that game. Gusto is playing really good at right back, so you just keep Gusto there until Reece is like at his best again. It's something like that. We just got to take our time with Reece James, and now we can actually be patient with Reece James now. Like, you know, we'd have to rush him in all the time and play in all the games because we have a good right back who's backup to him. So yeah.
I think he was good today, James. Like, the only thing I'll criticise him on really today is the crossing. I don't think his crossing was anywhere near good enough. But I thought,
you don't think he looked fatigued?
I mean, yes, he obviously did look fatigued. I'm not criticising him. Like, I'm not saying this is all his fault.
Yeah,
you know, he's obviously come back from an injury, and that's understandable. But you know, his crossing was the only bad thing today. I thought in general play he was quite good. I thought he was definitely one of the players that tested the keeper the most out of all of our players today, which, you know, may say more about us than him. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just glad, like you say, that, you know, Poch has been easing him in. You know, he had 2 substitute appearances before today. It's not a Graham Potter situation where you've thrown him straight in to play an hour after, you know, in the first game after the recovery, and then he gets injured again. So, you know, the patient approach is always going to work with this. And if we continue like this, then we hopefully should be fine. And if not, then, like you said, we're going to have to revisit the conversation at some point about him as a player, and, you know, can we rely on him properly?
Yeah, especially considering he's our captain too. You would want our captain to be a reliable player, someone that can stay on the pitch every game. But Ahmed or Scott, your thoughts on Reece today?
I thought defensively he was solid. I think going forward he was not very good. There were a couple of moments. Like, there's a moment in the first half he gets like the ball played over to him, and it's a simple like he either needs to score or he needs to like tap it across to, I think it was Sterling, and he just has such a tame shot at the keeper. And yeah, I just think going forward it wasn't good enough. Defensively, I thought he was solid. Like, we know what Reece James is. Like, he is solid going forward. Defensively, excuse me. So yeah, I thought he was good there. Yeah, just going forward, wasn't it? And yeah, there probably is a thing of like he isn't fully fit.
Also match fitness or match awareness, sharpness, I should say. Yeah.
But yeah, like not awful performance by any means. But yeah, you can tell that he's not anywhere near his best yet.
Ahmed, do you have anything I gotcha. Ahmed, do you have anything you want to say or add on Reece James before I ask my awesome question, because I'm an awesome host?
No, you know what, man? We're good to your question, Broski.
Do you guys start him for Tottenham?
No.
I think we're fine with Gusto. You know, Gusto's been fine. I don't know why he was dropped against Brentford. So, you know, and he doesn't lose his place based on one mistake, you know, against Arsenal. So I'd keep him in.
Let me just make it
Gusto, or you think it's going to be Cucurella?
Let me make it clear right now. Yeah, if I see Axel Disasi play right back again, yeah, I'm gonna be.
Let's have it right.
I'm gonna say Poch out. I'm being serious. If I see him, I will willingly on this channel on Casually FC say Poch out. Genuinely, I'll be the first one to say it.
You heard it here, folks. I mean, I listen. I don't want Axel Disasi right back either. I'm not saying he can't play that position. He just can't play well.
Go on, Chris. Go on.
I was gonna say to Ahmed,
who's rerubbing?
I know. If we beat Tottenham this weekend and Disasi does play right back, he still be Poch out?
Yes.
Or, what?
Yes.
Why? Like, it clearly works.
I'm being serious. No, it's not. It's because it's not gonna work.
No, but I don't think it'll work either. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Bro,
but
it's gonna be.
If it actually works,
if he win, it's gonna be via a miracle. like, a miracle is gonna have to happen.
Or
Like,
something
either a red
Sarsi
card-
gets like a banger goal or something from right back
bro,
position.
but it's not gonna happen though. Like, we
No,
saw
yeah,
it
probably
against-
not gonna happen. I don't want it to
But
happen.
Chris, it's like Chris, you keep on thinking about stuff that is nigh impossible to happen. It's a 0.01% chance.
Yes, you're right with that. Like, but I'm just saying that small chance, the Sarsi plays right back and we somehow have a masterclass and win.
Deary me.
You gotta say Pochin still.
I'm saying
I
Poch
mean,
genuinely. I will actually still say Poch
I mean, listen, there have been moments where Poch does experiment, he does fuck around, and we get a result, but I just don't think why. It is unnecessary. It's unnecessary to have the Sassi right back when you have Cucurella, you have James now, even though he's
Can you hear the reverb, guys?
Yeah, it's Oliver. It's
Yeah,
fine.
there's some echo.
It's just
I think I'll go next. Yeah.
wait, I was gonna say, wait, I lost train of thought. And Gusto, you have 3 right backs essentially that can play that position. You don't need to play Disasi there. Oliver, go ahead and say what you want to say, bro.
Hey, Oliver.
No, don't worry.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I lost train of thought. I'm so sorry. But okay, so Reece James is a start. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I don't think he does start, considering I don't think he's just fit. I feel like he's just gonna get outrun by who's playing. Richarlison's playing the left wing, right?
Well, yes.
It'll probably
yes,
if they're smart, it'll be Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
But has he even played this season though much, Scott?
Yeah, he literally came off the bench against Palace and got an assist.
Jesus Christ.
My Welsh goat. Oh, it's not a Welsh goat. That's my Welsh player.
You're a Welsh girl, Jesus Christ.
No, Gareth Bale's my Welsh goat, man.
Well, listen, man, you are actually nasty, Chris, man. You're a nasty fellow. You know what I mean?
Hey, don't take it there.
No, I will say
go.
though, hopefully we do bring on Reece James in that game though, like to hopefully see it out as well. Like say we are winning or drawing, like to see it out. Not sub off Gusto, but like sub Reece James on for attack and say we need to go more defensive.
You know what, man? I couldn't care less. I just want a right back to start in the right back position. I want a centre back to be a centre back. I want a left back to be a left back. I want a CDM to be a CDM, a centre mid to be a centre mid, a left winger to be a left winger, a right winger to be a right winger, and a striker to be a striker.
You missed out the goalkeeper, man. You want to be a
And
goalkeeper.
of course,
You want to be a goalkeeper.
and of course, and a goalkeeper to be a goalkeeper. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
God forbid we start experimenting there.
Oh my god.
You never know, man. Listen, man, this guy.
Maybe Jackson can play. 6 foot what? How tall is he?
Actually, you know, I don't want to pick on Oliver, but Oliver, you were pretty expressive, and I'm sure most of us kind of were. And to be fair, in my line of prediction, if you guys saw it, I did say Georgi Petrovic would start between the sticks. Now, should he have gotten a start today? I feel like we could have got away with it, but I mean, your thoughts, Oliver, on just Sanchez being between the sticks? Obviously, he didn't do a bad job, right? But I don't know.
I mean,
How do
I
you
was
feel
just
about it now in hindsight? You know,
I think my reaction before the game in the Discord, like I was just quite surprised by the whole lineup in general, and I thought that kind of punctuated it. I just expected Petrovic to start, and I'm quite curious just to see him play. I don't know what he is. I've never seen him play before. So I'm just curious to actually watch him and see what we've got on our hands here, even if it is just a backup. And it gets to a point where I kind of wondered, like, you know, you couldn't start him against Wimbledon, you couldn't start him against Brighton, you couldn't start him here. Now, where is he going to get his minutes? I mean, it doesn't matter in the long term, you know, especially if we're, you know, whatever the situation is with the number one, it doesn't seem like he's going to factor into that. But I was just curious to see him play, that's all. I think I was just a bit surprised by the lineup in general, how strong it was, including picking a first choice goalkeeper within that.
You know what it is, yeah? You know what it is? I don't think I think it had to be a strong lineup here because of the fact of what happened on Saturday. You know, and plus, like, the team for me, again, there's we've talked about everything beforehand, but like there's no cohesion for me. A lot of stuff's not working out. So for him, it was like when to start a strong team. Honestly, you know, unironically, the team he started, for example, today, swap Enzo for Caicedo because of like the paternity thing. That should have been the team that should have played. Oh, and BADIASHILE for obviously Silva, for example, because like obviously BADIASHILE is obviously not going to be matched sharp enough for the Brentford game.
Sure.
But like, you get what I'm saying? And like, I don't know,
I've
man.
got to ask a question. You just I'm not sure if Marshall's gonna ask this. You know, you talk about Reece James. Should we play Reece James on Monday? Should we play BADIASHILE on Monday?
I mean, let's talk about BADIASHILE. Wait, hold on. Let's talk about BADIASHILE because today I think he had a brilliant performance.
Yeah,
I think he was brilliant as usual. This is the guy that I think. Am I really going out of my way and saying that he might be our best center back?
No.
Yeah, he's our best center back. Yeah.
No, he is our best centre back. It's clear. The thing with like Cole is that because you've been playing him for left back for so long, the moment you basically put him in that left-sided centre back position, he
kind of forgets.
It's pretty much been not used to playing that position.
So used to a style of play, almost instinctually goes to it.
You know, I've seen because like he's been playing. He played there against Arsenal and Brentford, and he's not been cooking.
Yeah,
He did. Yeah.
I mean, listen, if I see BADIASHILE start in that Tottenham game, I'm not upset. I think he'll do just fine.
I just worry about the match sharpness for him personally. Is he going to be fit enough to play a full?
Is he going to be able to? For me, the difference between him and Reece, for example, is like Reece's performance tonight for me is no different than what I've seen from Gusto. But BADIASHILE came in tonight and immediately showed the levels that he showed when he left. Reece is not sure. That's the difference between why I'd start him and I wouldn't start Reece, is because Reece hasn't shown the levels that he was playing at his best. You can tell he's not fit. BADIASHILE came back, and apart from the fact he's not played for like a few months, and it's his first game back, like you couldn't tell. If I didn't know he was injured before this game, you wouldn't be able to tell. There was no signs that he was injured, not fit, not match sharp before this game, or based on this game, I would say.
Yeah, and that's what fills me with confidence. Because if he played like this in today's game, there's a good possibility he's going to improve on that and going to perform a little better against, Spurs. And we know how our team is too. It's very much we step up during big games. That mentality is still there. And I think BADIASHILE will step up as well. I think he'll just be just fine. Is he going to start though? Is Pochettino going to pick him over Colwell? I don't think so. I think he's going to stick with Colwell. The way he's glazed
with Silva, hey man, Silva might be starting to win. Listen, but you know what? Yeah, I think Curry probably good question. BADIASHILE Cole partnership. I would have probably wanted to see that if BADIASHILE was fit, that would have been something I really would have wanted to see earlier on in the season, to be honest, because we could have at least seen how that would work out. But like with the running games we have now and the points that are dropped, I'm not sure.
I think it's just too risky, which we were, you were alluding to this before, Ahmed. I think if we had gone into this Carabao tie, having won all our games so far, or even won the games and draw the big ones like Liverpool, Arsenal, then maybe Pochettino has enough confidence to, really rotate that lineup, put in the likes of Maatsen, put in Matos in there, Washington, or whatever youth player you want to name. I think it's because now there's a lot of pressure to win games, and there's pressure to. This is the FA Cup and this are the only two pieces of silver where we have a chance of winning. He wants to win something, and the pressure is on Pochettino. A lot of it self-inflicted to win something. So, I mean, I am a little disappointed I didn't get to see Petrovic, but it makes sense because we're trying to win. And that being said, when it comes to Spurs, is Pochettino going to take a risk with starting BADIASHILE over Colwell, which he's had there for most of the season, or over Silva? I don't think so. I think he really relies on Silva. So I think it's going to be the Sassy Silva Colwell. I would like to see a BADIASHILE Colwell partnership. I think it'd be good.
We don't think we'll play Cucurella left back.
He's been a Cucurella left back. That's what he's been doing the last few games, bro. I'll be real. He actually likes Cucurella left back. The problem is going to be the centre back partnership, which I think probably is going to be Thiago Silva and then Thingy, the Sarsi. Or
I think that might be the partnership we see.
Or like if the way things have been panning out here, the worry I have, we might be playing on Monday, and I think this is going to happen. Silva, Cole, Silva, and then disaster right back.
Nah, they can't play my right back after that game. Like,
you guys aren't wrong, by the way. I mean, would you play Cucurella over Gusto at right back?
No, like we're not.
Go ahead,
bro. I'm not doing this this nonsense thing of like like why can't we just play like Ahmed said? Can't we just play a right back, a left back, and two centre backs, a centre back?
I'm just thinking like
I don't care
thinking.
who. No, but I don't care which 2 out of the 4 you want to play. Like I don't care. I fully don't care. Like whatever 2 are going to play, we can judge them based on what they do. As long as it's 2 centre backs, a right back, and a left back. Like we're not doing that. None of this. Oh, maybe Cucurella could play right back, so we play Cole at left back. No, none of that bullshit. Like Cucurella at left back, Gusto at right back, and then 2 of the 4 centre backs. Choose 2, flip a coin if need be, and there you go. Our best performance this season from a defensive standpoint, I mean across the entire defence, was arguably Arsenal, where we played 2 centre backs, a right back, and a left back.
Yeah,
You know what
I
it
mean,
is,
I
man?
don't disagree with that at all.
You know what it is, man? Listen, at the end of the day, man, I'm telling you right now, the full lineup back line here tomorrow, I'm going to think it's going to be Cucurella, Silva, so Cole, Silva, and then it's going to be Disasi. I can feel it, man. I can feel it as well.
He likes Disasi. He's been
And
playing
then what is going to
Disasi
be
every time
because
he's fit.
now because now Enzo's back, it's going to be Caicedo, Enzo pivot, Gallagher in the 10. It will be Sterling, Jackson, and then Palmer on the right now. And
Well, now that you mentioned it, let's talk about Jackson. Listen, this guy is, for me, I'm at that point where I'm just about ready to give up on him as a striker. I don't think listen, I think he is a striker. I just don't think he's prepared, or he's like the level we need him to be at yet. I think we do need to go into the market and get a striker. I don't think Jackson is the guy. Preseason, take what you want. He looked convincing, but we saw a lot of convincing things in preseason. This game, horrible touches. And we don't need that we don't need the striker to constantly be losing the ball. Yes, he has good technique, good dribbling ability and all this. He's got pace, but when it comes to scoring, he's just not there. It's not it. The touches are terrible too. That doesn't help him. It's frustrating. So what do you guys do about the striker situation right now? Until December, we have a lot of games until December. So
Buy Tony in January.
what do you mean until
I
December?
don't think we're getting Tony.
You
though.
mean end of December?
Until the end of December? Yeah.
Oh, man.
For me, I was gonna say like I've always known like he won't be a main striker for me. I actually don't mind the signing because we only bought him for 30 million. I didn't expect a whole lot. Like obviously with the stats last season he did for his previous club, like I think he scored 13 goals and a couple assists. But the highlights I did see because I didn't know who he was really. Like his link up and his dribbling ability was actually pretty decent. But I didn't think he's gonna be like a world class striker, nothing like that, become like that. But as a backup, it could be quite good anyway for Chelsea. I just don't think he's good enough to like lead the line as a big 6 team or top 4 team anyway, like or challenging for the Premier League. We need a world class striker or elite striker and like up there. And Jackson just ain't gonna be it. He's still a good player. I'm not really hating on him. But
Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys think it's Jackson not performing up to task, or do you think Chelsea is failing him?
It's both. It's both.
It's not the same guy having just failing, right?
It's both because he's not whenever he's his chances, he's not putting them into the back of the net. They're either going to the heavens or they're going to the sides. Quite literally.
Yeah, we saw that shot earlier today.
And also like even though we're creating like chances, we're not creating like a volume of chances where it's a constant flow where we're at least giving them quite a few chances to score, which is also the other issue. But when it comes down to it, bro, we knew about Jackson. I said this to you guys before. 5 to 10 goals is probably going to get from him. The plan, at least from the club side, we knew from the summer was get Jackson in January, go for Tony. That was apparently what the plan was. So we're just gonna have to hold it. And the thing is also like even if you were to say let's try Broha released, clearly there's been some sort of complication in his what's it called him coming back to play to full fitness essentially. So there's also that issue too. But listen, man, we're just gonna have to hold it for the time being. And I actually think in January we're not gonna be able to sign both Osimhen and Tony. If the prices,
we're not signing.
Not Osimhen.
No. I'm just saying it's like the top 2 like targets, for example, probably would be those 2. But like even Tony, if they're like 100 million is the actual asking price they're asking for and everything, then you're not going to be able to sign him because I don't think the club are going to be willing to spend that much money. So whoever we get is going to be probably the third option that they want.
I
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Like, I think we just have
You
to
think
wait
the club's
for
going to spend 100 million on Ivan Toney?
Yeah, I
not
think
100
they actually would.
I
No joke,
think
they would.
I would
they
love
would.
Ivan Toney though.
They would, but I think Ivan Toney's set on Arsenal.
I also think that.
Well, that's
I
dependent,
also
like,
believe,
it-
I believe in the depth
Right.
of my heart, that the club are actually going to go for Lautaro Martinez. I feel like,
I fuck no.
wait,
not.
Really hope
listen,
you're wrong.
listen. I really, with this news about Poch getting more transfer power and everything, and we knew that he wants Lautaro Martinez. I feel it in my soul that he's gonna, and because Lautaro hasn't also signed a contract yet, you've got an advantage if you're the club that comes in January to come and buy him off of Inter. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
But the
don't get
thing
me
with-
wrong. I know he's having a good season, but
I don't want him, by the way. I don't want him. If that happens, and we are linked to him and we're actually negotiating for him, Poch out, bro. It's Poch out as well. For that
You're
one.
Poch out
That's
next
another
week,
Poch out. That's another Poch out, bro. I'm sorry. Like, that is.
Yeah,
poor
especially he
talent.
has more control. He has more control in the transfer window, apparently,
Yes.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
joy, great. A guy with a dreadful talent ideas and has more
Exactly.
control over our
It
transfers.
makes it even worse, bro. So
You're
hell
gonna
no
say,
him.
you're gonna say Oliver?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, just to clarify that, I think what the news is with the with Poch and his level of influence. I think what it is that he gets to identify the profiles, and then the scouting team return the names, and he gets final say on the names. So I don't think he's like, he basically gets given the names, and then he chooses the names based on what he wants in terms of like qualities. Just wanted to clear that up. I don't think we've covered it yet on the show. So.
No, that's something we're going to cover in the Casually FC show coming up. But it's just, I don't know. The striker situation is looking a little bleak. I was going to ask you, Scott. I think I know the answer, but I'd rather hear it come out of your voice. Why do you think we're not going to get Osimhen?
I don't think anyone is. I don't think that anyone's going to get Osimhen because I just think he's too expensive. I don't think they're going to let him go mid-season. I think he'll go in the summer.
Even if the players is content, you think that too?
Yeah, like it's De Laurentiis. Like I just don't think that he's gonna. I don't see him accepting an offer that comes in. From anyone. And I think it also depends. I think the striker market for big clubs is quite.
The draw's about to start, by the way.
I don't know what the word is. It's like. It's quite fluid in terms of like, so I think some of the transfers depend on other things where, like, for example, I think that a lot with the strikers that you obviously got, Real Madrid need a striker. They're looking at Mbappe and Haaland, potentially both. If both of those go, that's two big clubs in City and PSG that may need a striker. Because obviously PSG look like they're not entirely sold on Ramos, and I don't really know how Koulibaly's doing. I don't know where they see him going forward. You've obviously got Arsenal are looking for a striker. I'm not saying they're going to get Osimhen, but they're looking for a striker. We're looking for a striker. Barca soon are going to be looking for another striker because obviously Lewandowski's not getting any younger, and we don't know how soon or how early they'll start looking. So like there are, I think, a lot of teams, kind of top teams, where it's quite fluid in terms of the striker situation. But yeah, I just don't think anyone this season getting him. And then it's a case of with us, can we, depending on what they see with Nkunku, which none of us know, Poch could play him right back for all we know, the way he's going. Can they afford, say he comes back and he's not seen as the striker, can we then afford to go the entire season without a striker that's going to score you even double-digit goals at this point?
Versus Newcastle.
Oh, that's a home or away?
Chelsea.
Does it
versus
matter?
Newcastle.
Home or away? Are we home or
Does it
away?
matter?
At home.
Yeah, we're getting fucked.
I mean, does it matter?
We're getting
Yeah, it
smoked.
doesn't.
Cool. We're not winning anything
Oh
this season.
boy.
FA Cup it is then.
You were saying about the striker situation.
But yeah, I just
then
don't think we're going to
yeah.
get. I don't think we're getting him in the January. Then you've got to decide whether you want to wait till the summer to get him, or you just go and get Tony. And for me, I just go and get Tony. I don't think you can afford to go this season. Like for me, Nkunku's not a number 9, not an out and out number 9.
Well, okay, let me ask you this then. Hold on. So, Listen, I don't think Jackson's up to scruff anymore. I know Nkuku's not necessarily a number 9, but I think he can play that position. Considering, because we're talking about lineups in the Discord, right? If we're talking about having the midfield be Enzo Caicedo and then number 10 role being giving it to Palmer, if you have Mudryk on the left, Sterling on the right, what about having Nkunku in that striking position? I think that could potentially work.
Bro, but
And you
like,
have
again,
good players there. And Nkunku's not a bad player. You can definitely play
it's
the
a
part.
short-term solution, though. It's a
I was
short-term
going to say,
solution.
like, that's the thing for me. It's like the whole reason for us buying Nkunku, based on
Uh-huh.
every report we read over the summer, was this is the guy to play in the number 10. We're not going after Felix
Yeah.
because we've got Nkunku. We don't need another number 10 because we've got Nkunku. Like,
Thank you,
this
sir.
is
So you
our
got
guy
it.
at number
Mhm.
10. Like, this was our guy at number 10. To
Sure.
play as the number 10. This was the main creative force in our team in terms of centrally. So you're just going to scrap all of that to then play him as a number 9, which we saw him play in one game in pre-season.
Yeah.
He looked okay, didn't
Yeah, he
look
looked
great.
okay.
That's all we've seen him play so far as a number 9 for Chelsea Football Club. Forget Leipzig, it's not the same.
And he got hurt on the game anyways.
I said,
I mean,
no, the
that's-
game. The game in that he played striker, he didn't. The game he played striker was the first game of pre-season, and he looked okay.
he got hurt when he played left wing against Dortmund.
Yeah, against
that's the one.
Dortmund. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too. I was going to ask you guys, like, how do we work around this? What solutions can we have? Because, like, listen, we could persist with Jackson, but I don't know about you guys, but my patience is growing really thin with this guy. He's just not meriting results anymore. Even now, I don't even think he's creating as much as he used to. I feel like even that stumped down a bit.
Yeah, but that's low on
He's not
confidence.
doing well, right? But the thing for me is, I expected this kind of stuff, and again, I can allow this stuff if come what's it called? If come January we go and get a striker. If we don't get a striker come January, then this isn't on him. This is on the board. I can't allow what I'm seeing.
I mean, I just don't think it's like, if we're not going to get Osimhen, I just don't think we're going to get a striker. I really don't think we're going to get Ivan Toney. I've been convinced that Ivan Toney is going to go to Arsenal because Arsenal just have so much more to offer.
Are they going to pay 100 M's though?
Yeah, they're not going to pay the 100 mil.
I think you don't think they're going to pay the 100 mil.
No, they
literally for Mudryk were 5 million away from paying. We just paid. Only
Wait, but
5 million more.
also, why are we talking about 100 mil? I thought the price set out for Ivan Toney was 60.
no reported
from
today
Fabrizio.
100 mil.
Today it came out that from Sky Sports
They want 100 mil.
They want 100 mil.
And even if
Jesus.
it's 60, 70 mil, again, like, who says Arsenal are going to spend that? This is the same team who last season were on a title challenge, were top of the table, needed players to like fill out their squad depth, and they signed Trossard, who never plays. They signed Jorginho and they signed Kivior. That was their depth pieces they signed to help bolster them for a title challenge.
True,
But look at
true,
how much
true.
they paid for Declan Rice, and we all agreed
Yeah,
Declan
one
Rice is
player.
overpriced.
Yeah, but one player.
You don't think they could play that amount for one player again?
The thing is,
No.
how much how I love is how I love is Arteta into Tony. 'Cause
Ivan
the only
Toney.
reason why they paid so much for Rice is because they were literally swooning over him. They were like doing the sweet talk for him for months apparently. If you read the reports,
Sure.
but with
I
Tony,
also-
he's not had anything like that.
I don't know about you guys, but I also don't think Arsenal necessarily need Ivan Toney. It's just one of those, like, let's buy him because maybe Gabriel Jesus isn't always reliable, because he does get hurt. You know, he hasn't been.
It's not
the
just
most
that, he's not as
reliable in
good a
terms of
finisher.
fitness.
Yeah, I think
True.
it's the finishing more than anything.
It's an improvement on him. But I mean, ever since he came into the team, Gabriel Jesus has been pretty good for them.
He's just
Oh,
not a
I mean-
natural finisher. Is the
Sure.
difference?
I mean, it's just looking tough, and I really am losing my patience with Jackson. Like, I see a good player in there. He's got, like, I appreciate his dribbling ability as a striker, and his ability to keep the ball and creativity, but it's just the touches, which has been a problem for us for God knows how, since Timo, I guess, since I can remember. Like, just horrible touches for a striker is not a good thing. And then just inability to get the ball behind the net and keep the ball on target. We saw it today. He had a chance to score, and he sends the ball to Rosed. It's just so frustrating.
But again, this is to be expected. When you and I we were speaking, we were talking about stuff in preseason. bro, I was like, don't get your hopes up. Probably 5 to 10 goals this season is what you're gonna be getting from Jackson. You're not gonna get that much production though. But again, we need to realize who did we buy? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing about Chelsea.
I know,
No,
but
so
you
sometimes
mentioned
when it comes to Chelsea fans, we need to realize, that who did we buy? How is he gonna help us? We didn't buy someone that's ready. That's the first thing. You know
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm hesitant to say. Well, what's lingering over my head right now is you had mentioned before confidence, right? Maybe he doesn't have the confidence going into that Arsenal game, guys. He has scored 2 games in a row. 2 games that he started, he scored in both of them. So he was going into the Arsenal game with some confidence. And not even the Arsenal game. He didn't start the Arsenal game. He came in at halftime, or not even halftime, as a sub. Brentford game, he starts, has clear chances, doesn't know what the hell to do with the ball in front of the net when he's 1v1 with the keeper. Tries to dribble and is made to look like a fool. And now this game, Blackburn Rovers, which, again, no disrespect to Blackburn Rovers, but come on, man. Like, you were scoring against Newcastle. You were scoring against Brighton. You were scoring against, like, much more competitive teams in the preseason. How can you not repeat that now? So it's just very disappointing. It's frustrating, man. It's just, at this point, I don't know what to do other than to play when Nkunku comes back, as much as we don't want to, play Nkunku in the striker position.
I mean, one alternative, one thing we could do, maybe, we saw this in the Arsenal game, and I don't know if it might not work depending on, like, maybe this worked because they play a higher line. Maybe play Palmer as a false 9, but then that might take away creativity from wide, maybe.
I mean, I'll take this moment to transition into Palmer. This guy, so far, I would say, I mean, up there with Caicedo. I want to say signing of the season so far.
No, he is signing of the season. Like,
he's consistent. He's been so consistent. He's our most consistent attacker. Like, I don't care what anyone has to say. Like, scoring penalties, first of all, which we seem to have had trouble with, and then this guy steps up and he can score penalties, which great. Ability to create. Has been robbed of assists already this season. We saw what happened with Cucurella against Brentford. Robbed of assists, is scoring goals. And he looks calm in the attack. He just looks fantastic. I think he's. It's either him or Caicedo for me for signing of the season this season so far. But I mean, thoughts overall on him today? He's been fantastic.
He's been mid, man. Chill out, man.
Oh, wait, what do you mean mid? All right, well, elaborate, man.
Joking.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say. I
I
thought you misheard me and that you thought I said Sterling, which we'll talk about next.
Oh, I can't wait. But when it comes to Cole Palmer, he's been really great so far. I think his creativity has been a good thing, a big thing for us in terms of what he's been able to do in regards to that. I just want him to pull the trigger quicker. That's what he needs to do.
I like that he's pulling the trigger at all. I think one of the things I had the biggest complaint about last season, especially even the season before that when it came to Timo, is fucking shoot the ball. You never know if you're going to score unless you shoot. This guy takes his chance to shoot. And mind you, like, he didn't score today, but one of these days, it's going to come off. We saw what happened with Sterling's goal today. It came off. But like one of these days when Palmer shoots, it might come off and it's going to be a fantastic goal. He likes to shoot outside the box. Enzo did it today. I would like to see Enzo do that more often, which we will talk about Enzo as well. But go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you about Cole Palmer. Cold Palmer, I should say.
No, that's horrible.
Oh, come on. You got to admit, he is cold. It's cold out. Palmer.
My God. Okay, stop
Come on, man.
Listen, he played a good game.
You gotta give me that. Come on,
Chill
you
out,
gotta give me that.
Chill out, man trying to do that.
I thought it was brilliant. You guys are
chill out, man. You know what I mean? You're getting a bit too giddy now.
All right, whatever. But anyways, thoughts
Let's
on
talk
Cole
about
Palmer.
Sterling, man. Let's talk. Yeah, okay. Wow.
I wanted to finish off on Cole Palmer. I think he's been fantastic. I think today, obviously,
we need to talk about the actual. We need to talk about.
Well, actually, here's the thing. I'll say this: is Cole Palmer undroppable now at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even with Carney Chukwuemeka on the bench.
Yes.
Soon to come.
Yes. He I don't care where he plays in that front line, he should be the first player in that front line, on the team sheet. Whether he plays as a 10, whether he plays as a right winger, I don't care. He should be the first name on the team sheet.
Okay. I know you're not gonna like this, Scott. So in the number 10 role, Gallagher's undroppable pretty much. I disagree. I think we can play him in certain games, but it's been shown that he's pretty much undroppable in that position. So that leaves the front three.
1 second.
Does Cole Palmer still make that?
He's saying Gallagher's undroppable. Why is he undroppable?
I think Poch relies on him too much. I think Poch really likes him as a player. And which, mind you, like there have been games that he's been really good. Arsenal game was a really good game for him. And today, not so good. I mean, we saw it all together, but not so good. But at the same time, you guys see it. He's just in the lineup day in and day out. He's our Mason Mount now. He's the new Mason Mount. He's Conor Gallagher. So that leaves one spot less for Palmer. You have a Mudryk that's been doing good. You have a Sterling that's been, I mean, despite what you think, Ahmed, I think Sterling's been doing good as well. And then, Jackson, I don't know. Do you put Cole Palmer in a striker position? I don't think you do that. And then Nkunku probably slides in there when he comes back. So who do you drop out of those three that I just mentioned?
Gallagher. No, this shouldn't be a debate. I'm sorry, this should not be a debate. I don't care how well he's playing. He was shit today, by the way. He was not good. I don't care how well he's playing.
I don't think it was that great today. Yeah.
I don't care how well he's playing, regardless, bro. When Nkunku's back, he's your number 10, Palmer on the right, and then one of Sterling or Mudryk on the left. I don't care who. That, and then you go and buy Tony in January, and that's your front four.
I mean, but you gotta admit, Scott, like there have been games where Gallagher's been pretty brilliant.
Oh, we don't care, bro.
I don't care. I know you care. No. I don't care. I don't care. Is Gallagher a good enough player to start for a team that's going to consistently challenge?
No, that's the point. We know this, man. This Marshall trying to, do the
don't even try and make that face. Does he start? Does he start for Tottenham?
I think so, actually.
Over who?
I could see him starting over Kulusevski. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know that sounds like a howler, but I can see it happening.
He's a winger.
Kulusevski's a winger, big man. What are you talking about, bro?
Their starting midfield is Basuma, Sarr, and Madison.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't watch him enough.
No, don't do that.
I don't
watch enough.
Does he start in City's midfield?
Uh-oh. Wait, I thought I heard someone coming. City, no. Obviously.
Does he start in Arsenal's midfield?
No.
Does he start in Liverpool's midfield?
You can make the argument, yes.
No, you can't. He doesn't start in Liverpool's
Yes,
midfield.
you can.
Over who?
Szoboszlai will play.
As will
McAllister will
McAllister.
play. And then who do you put in the third position?
Gravenberch.
And Gravenberch.
Over Gallagher? I don't know if Gravenberch has been as impressive as Gallagher this season.
Yeah, he scored goals. What are you talking about, bro? He's actually played really well.
But Gallagher's role in the team isn't necessarily to score goals.
Listen, you know what? Listen, yeah, we don't need to do this stupid nonsense about is he gonna get into the top 6 side. At the end of the day, he's just not gonna fit in. We don't need his ability right now.
So let me ask you this then, guys.
Okay.
Do you still sell him in January?
I mean, I would,
right
but I'm saying regardless
the right
of whether
price.
he's sold, I would because I'd rather the 50 mil that you'll get from him. Regardless of that, though, no one's saying. I'm not saying that he can't be on the bench and still contribute from the bench.
Exactly.
But
He can be a bench player first.
There is not a world in which you have Palmer, Carney Chukwuemeka, and Nkunku available to play in the 10 and you start Conor Gallagher. There's not a world where that happens unless you're Pochettino, and if that happens, he's a fucking idiot. There's not a world in which that happens as a sane person. You did not, as I said, you did not buy Nkunku as your centerpiece for this team to then play him out of position to fit Gallagher at the number 10.
I don't know. It just seems like he's been undroppable. He's been improving as a player.
The reason why he's been
I don't disagree necessarily.
The reason why he's been up there was Pochettino wants him to play that. But if you're being honest, bro,
Yeah.
his job is also being done by Caicedo. We don't need two players doing the same job at the same time. Honestly.
But like, it's okay. Here's the thing. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, Caicedo is doing his job, but I think what makes Conor Gallagher so effective, which is partially what we were trying to do in Mason Mount, was that gegenpress effect, which is dispossessing the opponent on their half of the pitch rather than doing it defensively, doing it in an offensive way.
But the problem is, bro, if he's the only one that's doing it, there's no point. Again, this goes back to the system.
Well, hold on. But remember who mentioned? I think it was you, Ahmed, who mentioned like the way that we seem to be effective is when we play against teams against a high line, right? Playing almost in like a counterattack type of way. I think that's why Gallagher keeps getting played over and over, is getting that, offensive turnover. Gallagher dispossesses you high up the pitch, and then we have a chance to create something right there. Now, is Gallagher effective in delivering the killer pass to create a goal? Not necessarily always. He does have it in him, but doesn't do it effectively all the time. But I mean,
bro, listen, Marshall,
I can see why. I can see why. I understand
Marshall,
it.
You didn't have it sting. You didn't have it sting right now.
Maybe I am. I don't know.
Yeah, listen,
maybe I'm too many these deep.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it,
don't agree with that.
Gallagher is not going to be should not be in the star lineup. That's as simple as that. He could be.
I agree with you guys. I prefer Sterling, the more offensive.
I agree with you. Even Sterling should not be a starting in the starting lineup, in my opinion. Mudryk should be starting over him. Honestly.
All right, fine. Let's talk about Sterling.
Also, just before we go on the Gallagher thing,
before we
go, you mentioned about the gegenpressing thing and the winning the ball high up the pitch. Who won the ball for the second goal? Doing exactly what you just said.
Ugu.
No, it wasn't.
Ugu? No, it's Palmer.
It was Palmer.
Yeah, it was Palmer.
Cool. So the guy that's better technically is just an all-round better player, can still do the same like pressing stuff off the ball, winning the ball high up that we apparently need Gallagher in the team for. So like I said, there's no reason for him to be in the team.
Palmer even did it against Fulham, didn't he?
When everyone's fit, there's no reason for him to be in the starting 11.
What do you mean, Ahmed?
Ahmed, I think I know why. Let's talk about Raheem Sterling. Okay. All right. We moved on from Conor Gallagher. Let's talk about Raheem Sterling.
I honestly believe, if Mudryk is at his best, if Mudryk is at his best and keeps on doing what he's doing and keeps on improving, there will be no need for Sterling to be in the starting lineup. No, what did I say anything wrong there? I don't really think so. Why do you guys hate Sterling, man? He's the only forward who actually has output. But no one's denying that. But what we are saying is that if you have a fully healthy squad and Mudryk keeps improving in the way he's doing and keeps him giving the output that he's doing, I don't think you need Sterling in the team, in the starting 11. You can literally have Mudryk, Palmer, and then you have whoever the new striker is going to be, and then Nkuku in the number 10. That isn't, bro. That's not chatting shit, bro. Honestly, I don't. That is not chatting shit. There's a reason why you brought Mudryk to be a future winger. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, my friend. But that's just the reality for me. But again, with Sterling, I feel like the first half, it was very frustrating. He was very frustrated, in my opinion, the first half. Particularly when he was in the final third in the first half. Obviously, in the second half, he got his goal and was a lot more effective in the second half after that goal in particular as well. So I don't know.
But here's the thing with Sterling, and I think I'm starting to come to terms with it, is that he is that frustrating player that will hold the ball for too long. He is that frustrating player that will probably do exactly what Scott was mentioning earlier, which is not cover for a player when a player moves up on the pitch and do that, so the work rate isn't there. But on the other hand, lately he's been, outside of Palmer, I would say, the other person that's also been somewhat consistently leading that attack and finding himself in dangerous positions, finding himself positions to receive a ball in a dangerous position, and then creating a chance. So it's kind of like, okay, I guess this is Sterling. He's going to frustrate me when he doesn't make a good decision. He's going to frustrate me when he thinks about the ball too long and then holds it for too long instead of passing it or instead of shooting. But he's been creating chances. And today, I'll put it up in a second, but he had a brilliant goal today. You got to give him that. He had a brilliant goal today.
I think that's the thing. I think the thing about Sterling is he's going to be he is a frustrating player, and like we're going to get annoyed by him. And I'll allow these poor performances for now if he continues to get goals. Like that's the thing. He was terrible today, like especially first half. But I can allow it to a certain extent because he scored. Like, because then after the goal as well, he did improve. Like there was that nice move where he could have had another one, where he got past like 3 players and could have had another one. He's done that a few times this season. And again, like that's cool. Like if you do that in games, you're going to frustrate the shit out of me, but I can allow it, right? But if you continue to have shit performances like you did in the first half and there's no goals, cool. Then you're giving me nothing, so there's no point you being in the team. That's kind of how it is. Like, as long as he can score, I can allow the shit performances.
Yeah, which, I mean, Ahmed, that's up to you. How do you feel about that, man? You're the one with the agenda.
I don't want that, bro. Going with the agenda. Don't put that slyly in there. It's not an agenda. It's just my personal opinion at the end of the day. My personal opinion when it comes to Sterling
fucking minerals, bro.
I don't want someone that's going to frustrate me too much. I want someone that's just going to give me as good as a performance as I need. You know, like I think Sean said it best. You know, Sterling. I'm looking at this. So take Sterling 4 chances to score 1. I can't accept that, bro. From our guy that's meant to be, like you can't accept that from the winger, bro. I'm sorry. I need him to be a bit.
If you take Sterling out of that and you put Haaland in there, are you complaining?
No, but I think this actually goes back to a different problem that Aaron makes a good point, is he's wasteful in a team where we don't create opportunities. Opportunities are scarce. That's another issue. Is I think he will be frustrating with the chances. Like we saw it against Brentford, where like there was a chance or 2 he missed.
Sure.
And like we're kind of cooking him for that, and kind of rightfully so. But also, those are the only 2 chances he gets in a game because we don't create enough chances. And this comes back to nothing. And also, this comes back to him as well because I don't think, from a creative standpoint, he does enough. But that's like another conversation. Yeah, like I said, like as I said, he's going to be frustrating. And for the moment, I'll say this much: when our team gets better, when the cohesion of the team gets better, I expect him to be more consistent. I expect him to do more and not have shit performances and just output. Because I get on Rashford for the same thing. I get on Bruno for the same thing. I don't rate either of them guys for the exact same thing. So I can't be a hypocrite in that regard. But for the moment with our team where it is currently, I can allow it for now. For now. It's the same way I allowed Jackson after the Brighton game because he was terrible in that game, but he scored, technically got 2 goals, even though one was called off for offside. Like, I can allow that, like, for now. Because it's early doors. Like come end of the season, and we've got Nkunku in a team. Like Palmer, hopefully is doing more. We hopefully have a striker, whoever that is. Like when the team is more settled and it looks better, I can't be seeing that. I can't be seeing him having a shit game and then just get like a tap in at the back post, and everyone talks about him like he's good. No. At that game he was shit because I expect more at that point. For now, it's early doors. He can have a shit game if he scores. For now,
we have criticized the other attackers, Daryl. We have criticized the other.
Hold on, but Daryl, I will also say this, just to be fair. It's not so much about how much GA you can produce, but how often that GA actually wins us the games. If your GA is winning us games, then cool, GA all you want. But if your GA is not winning us games and you're having shit performances and just individual moments of you have goals, then what the fuck does that do for us? You know, GA isn't everything to win a game. We need someone that also has good performances. Now, Sterling, I think in the second half was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant. And this is his goal. Obviously, I wish I could play that moment that Scott was talking about where he just dribbled past like 4-3 players. But this goal, I think, was brilliant. And as soon as I saw him kick it, I immediately knew it was a goal. He already did it earlier in the season. I forgot what team it was that he scored a brilliant goal like this. But yeah, Palmer dispossesses the Blackburn player. Sterling gets it in this position right here. And just inside the box, has all the space in the world to do it. And this is what I mean. This is what I like about Sterling. When he doesn't think about it too much and just decides to instinctually just go for it, that's where we see Sterling at his most brilliant, I think. Shoots it, and boom, it's a brilliant goal. So I mean, I can't complain. It's just no, but it is a good goal. It's a good goal. How many shots did we have like that didn't end up being a goal? Palmer had like at least 2. Sterling had another one after this that didn't finesse into the goal. Sterling got it done. So it's just a good goal. Hey, listen, don't pretend like you don't pat yourself on the back whenever you score a finesse goal like this on FIFA, okay? You in your Legends mode losing against what team did you lose against? Blackburn, right? Yeah, come on.
I lost against Blackburn. Are you kidding me? I've never lost against Blackburn.
Yeah, you were playing
Luton Town because in the Premier League, but not this one.
Oh, my bad, dude. I thought you got demoted. Anyways, but yeah, it was a brilliant goal. So I think Sterling definitely stepped it up in the second half. But it's like it's hard to drop him. We were talking about the lineup earlier. We were talking about that the attacking 3, and dropping Gallagher obviously, but it's hard. It's hard to drop Sterling when he does performances like this, and he's been doing it a little bit more consistently this season. So I don't know what else there is to say about Sterling, other than he's obviously going to play the next game. There should be more chances than what is being created. We play with 0 intensity.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's right.
Why do you think that is, though?
Comes from the manager. Like at the end of the day, it comes like the manager is the one who sets the intensity from the team, and if the intensity is not what the manager requires, it's the manager's job to then change that, and he does nothing to change that. Like if the game plan isn't going how you want in terms of you're not putting enough pressure on the team, you're not doing the things you want, like that's on the manager to change that, and it never changes.
The
only time it changes, tell a lie. Only time it changes is when we concede. When we go down and he throws the kitchen sink and everything at a game, and we bring on like 10 attackers and play like a 3-1-7 or whatever it is, or 3-1-6. That's at the moment where it changes, when we're already behind.
I have a hard time believing it's the manager, simply because it's just so consistent in the past 3 seasons. We saw it happen under Lampard, which that one's obviously why it happens. We saw it happen under Tuchel. You guys remember the first Real Madrid game? How like lazy and lackadaisical we looked. We didn't look like we were in it.
But Marshall, we gutted that squad, so there's no common denominator here. You can't say that anything has lingered.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such an odd commodity that it seems to happen with this team now 3 seasons in a row. It's a completely different team too. Is it the pitch? Is it some bad juju at Stamford Bridge? Like I don't know what it is. And
what are you doing, man? You're reading Jurgen Klopp's book of excuses.
Yeah,
bro. You know what, man?
I'm just trying to be a host.
Stop being glazed. Stop.
Well, who am I glazing over? I'm just saying, like, why do we always drop the intensity, man? I just don't understand.
I'm tired of listening to you.
Also, on a side note, Sterling is not our best attacker.
Palmer?
Yeah, Palmer's our best attacker. He's our best. Like he's been arguably our best player this season. That says a lot.
I think that would be
up there though.
I think Palmer would be more of a consensus if his chances were actually converted by.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that's a prime example of where it's like people only focus on the goals and assists. Where it's like if you look at what they've actually done for this team in terms of impact on the football pitch, Palmer has been our best attacker this season by a landslide.
By the way, before we continue on to the next little topic, 50 of you guys watching, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Make sure you are wiping your feet at the door, though. And how do you do that? Smash up the like buttons, please. I do appreciate it. If you do that, it does help out the channel tremendously, and we'll be growing as a channel, which is what we want. We're on our way to 3K, so help us out, and I would appreciate that. Now, speaking of GNA, and I know what you guys are going to say. I just want to bring it up because for some reason the Chelsea fans are very confused as to what the role of Enzo Fernandez is in this team. So let me go ahead and read a quick tweet and stat about this, and we'll discuss it. Hold on, as I pull it up now, and failing miserably. Okay, there we go. So, Enzo Fernandez versus Blackburn Rovers, 87 minutes played, 131 touches, 93% pass completion, 7 key passes, 3 out of 5 long balls completed, 2 shots on target, 11 out of 13 ground duels won, and 6 tackles. No GNA though, so he must be shit, right, guys?
I don't know because like we don't. None of us said disagree with you. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I just think it's so ridiculous that the standard for a midfielder to be good is the amount of goals they score or the amount of assists they get. Mind you, today, I'm pretty sure there was at least one chance that Jackson bottled because of his touch today that Enzo Fernandez could have potentially gotten an assist today.
Well, you see it there, 7 key passes. You know, that doesn't, you know, that's not anything that you like just gloss over. You know, those are good quality chances.
Yeah. You know, there's a good amount of the Chelsea fan base that like to criticize Enzo because of his lack of GNA. And on top of that, 2 shots on target. He had 2 shots on target. Now, listen, I have been a little critical of Enzo in the sense of like when he is in clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, he lacks the ability to finish, which I think he needs to improve on. But like this is clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. At least score one of them, you know? So that's just my take on that. But and I think this could be a part of it. Bellingham. People see Bellingham and think like, oh, Bellingham is a CDM. Why isn't Enzo scoring more goals? Truth is, Bellingham is not a CDM right now. He's a cam.
he's a number 10.
he's a number 10, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people are remembering his Borussia Dortmund days.
I don't know, man. I actually think it's gonna be a problem for him when he goes back to actually having to play the 8 role. When they actually bring a striker into that team and they go back to playing an actual form of play.
Why do you think that?
He's been playing in that position for so long, yeah. He's not really developed in the other position that he needs to play.
Mm-hmm. This is what I mean, man. Like, why are we... Enzo is overrated, man. Good player, but not elite.
Here we go. Here, the Enzo, the guy with the Enzo agenda.
This is why I brought it up. I saw your comments while I was away. Like I rewatched my streams while I was away, and I know people are chatting shit about Enzo, and I don't get it. You got like there's this portion of the fan base that is just so fucking spoiled from Frank Lampard that they think the standard of a number 8 or a midfielder in general, right? Because Lampard was more of a cam, is that they have to score GNA. They have to get goals and assists. Forgetting that since Costa, we haven't had a prolific striker or even a goal scorer. So where are the assists going to come from, even for a midfielder? And secondly, like, why the fuck are we depending on a midfielder to score us goals? I've talked about this over and over and over again, and I always have to reiterate it because there's always new fans that come in and don't understand my point of view on CM or just how a CM should work. And I said this about Kovacic, I said this about Jorginho, and I'll say it again now about Enzo. And we're gonna probably this is what I mean. This is also probably gonna turn into the next Jorginho agenda with Enzo, which I hate. I called it when as soon as we got Enzo that Enzo's gonna turn into the next Jorginho debate about the whole GNA shit. Enzo is a number 8. He's a midfielder. And what he does fantastically is his passing ability, his offensive passing ability, he sets the tempo, and the key passes, pretty much, which is what you're seeing here. He's doing his job as far as I'm aware. I don't know if you guys disagree, but as far as I'm aware, he's doing his job. We're just failing to convert chances.
He definitely did his job today. And to be honest, we go back to Poch. Poch failed him a lot of this season playing him in that number 10 role, which is not his natural position. Like we all saw it. He just looked uncomfortable as hell. He's much better when he can see the pitch and everything else like in front of him rather than playing like in between the lines like that. So you've got to put, you know, like you said, Marshall, some of it is on him. You know, when he gets in the shooting positions, he has to do better. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we're asking him to do things. We had been asking him to do things that we shouldn't have been expecting him to do in the first place. And just because he's 100 million doesn't mean he can play 6, 8, 10 to a 10 out of 10 level. That's just not the case. It's not the case with any player.
Mm-hmm. But again, Cesc got GNA. Why? He got the assists because he had a Diego Costa. He had a goal scorer in front of him. Who's our goal scorer? Come on. Who's our striker? Who's our really prolific?
Sterling, apparently. He's our top goal scorer. You know, I know. I know it's not good enough, but that is the level right now.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not good enough. It's not the Diego Costa levels. And the same thing goes with Drogba and Lampard. Like, the reason Lampard's GNA was so high is because he had a Drogba that was scoring goals for him. Like, come on, guys. And mind you, yeah, Lampard, again, also, that's the other thing, too. Lampard was a freak of nature. 1 in a million type of player. Same thing goes with, like, the Mudryks. Like, these are very, very, like, unique players. And when I said Mudryk, also forget to mention Mudryk doesn't get high GNA either. So calm. I'm going to ask you this. We paid 120 million for a better version of Jorginho. Did you watch the World Cup? Did you see how well Enzo was? Or how good Enzo was?
Also,
did he get much GNA?
Forget that. So what, is Caicedo shit then?
According to Calm and his
also,
standards,
by that same token, outside of an open goal against us and a scuffed shot against United, what the fuck has Declan Rice done this season?
You watch Euro 2021?
I've seen
amazing.
outside of an open goal and a scuffed shot. I've seen Declan Rice get ran through in that midfield, like he did against us.
That's a good point. I listen. I would say this season Enzo's been better than Declan Rice from what I've seen. I don't think Declan Rice has been that phenomenal. Not to say Declan Rice hasn't been good. I think he's been pretty good for Arsenal, but it was what like you said, the scuff shot against Man City, and then the stupid error. United, I'm sorry, and then the stupid fucking error. It was against City, and then also one against United.
It was a scuffed goal against United, and then there was the long shot.
He scored against City too.
Goal against.
No, you're thinking of Martinelli.
Yeah, Martinelli's goal.
Off Ake.
All right, and then there was the error against us.
Yeah,
so it's Declan Rice.
Goal. It was a nice goal, but it was an open goal.
It was a nice goal, but it was an open goal.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, Rice has been good this season, but he's not been worth 100 mil.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just stupidness, man. It's just stupid.
International cups are useless. It's the World Cup, Calm. It's the biggest international cup in the world. Believe it or not, it's bigger than the Champions League.
It's almost as if Listen, it's almost as if no deep lying midfielder is ever gonna go for that price and be worth it unless they're literally prime Kante or prime Busquets. That's it at the end of the day. Unless you're getting that level of player guaranteed, no player is actually worth that. But the fact of the matter is, we had to pay it to get him. We've got him, and we're not regretting it.
You also look at the economy of players. Like, it's just the inflation of the prices of players has been insane. Like, you have to pay a lot more for elite players than you used to back three years ago even. It's like, it's insane. But like, Amrabat was good in the World Cup. Look at how average he is now. Look at the team he's playing with. Look at how bad Man United have been, period. You think one player is going to carry that whole entire team? You think Amrabat was the only good player for Morocco that World Cup run? Like, what are we talking about? Same thing with Enzo. You think Enzo was the only good player in Argentina that World Cup run where they won the fucking whole thing against France, against Kylian Mbappe, Thuram, and all these other good players that they had? Thuram was the first one that came to mind. I'm sorry. But, like, what are we talking about? And again, did Enzo score that many goals in that World Cup run? I think he scored, 2 goals? 1 goal, maybe? I don't know. It wasn't that much. It's like, again, exactly. People
on
don't
a side
watch
note,
Cruz.
I was literally about to say, I looked this up the other day for this debate because I had someone else, like we had in one of Lewis's streams, we had someone talking about Enzo, like, and GNA, and again, I brought up the stats of Pirlo and Cruz, but I didn't manage to get a chance. Does anyone want to guess how many assists Enzo had total and what his best? Forget goals, right? Because we're not like it's fucking midfielders. I'm not like we're not talking about midfield like goals.
Sure.
Does anyone want to guess on the panel how many assists Cruz had in his career total at club level, and what was his best season for assists in terms of number? Without looking, obviously.
I'm gonna say Cruz, his best season for assists, the number was probably 12.
Spot on.
And overall assists in the career, I would say 67.
Oh no, it's more than that. 159.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, hang on. Out of 718 appearances. His best season was 12, at which he did twice in his career.
So I'm really curious. Calm.
He only.
Out of the,
By the way, sorry. In a career which spans, fucking hell, when did he start playing like properly? In a career which has spanned 16 years, he got double-digit assists 5 times out of 16 years.
And I think even this season, despite how bad we are, Enzo can do that. How many assists is Enzo at right now?
I don't know.
I don't think he has any. I know he had the pre-assist for Jackson against Luton, but that's a pre-assist.
Oh boy.
You know.
But calm. Let me ask you this: out of our player in the current football season right now, who do you rate as a midfielder?
Shit.
I'm so curious what you rate as a midfielder.
Fucking hell, Modric is even worse.
Wow, I would not have expected that. Okay.
755 appearances, 124 assists, has only hit double-figure assists twice. Would you like to guess the most recent year he hit double-figure assists? Modric.
Just before I answer that, that's almost an eighth of the games where he scored, when he's gotten an assist. I'm gonna say 2017.
Take 10 years off that.
Holy 2007.
Oh my.
Since he moved
when
to
he
Spurs,
was in Tottenham?
since he moved to Spurs, he's never had double-figure assists.
Holy crap!
In
So
a
again,
season.
we
Never.
rate these guys as top midfielders, yet like they're not outputting the GNA. Again, these are Ballon d'Or contenders. I think Mudryk won the Ballon d'Or twice, right? Once or twice?
No,
Modric
2018.
Once. He won the Ballon d'Or
And
without
how-
being like the most GNA.
I think I can't remember if it was you, Scott, or if it was Andrew. You gave the example. Bruno Fernandes has more GNA in his career than Zidane.
Oh, yeah, that was me. Also,
Yeah,
last season, Modric got 7 GNA total.
I love how I asked Calm to give me the midfielder he rates the most this season, and I haven't gotten an answer yet. It's been like about 5 minutes because I'm very curious to see what midfielder you pick. If you pick Bellingham, then I'd be so curious to see what you thought of Bellingham prior to Real Madrid. Because he wasn't scoring the same GNA, if at all. And he's not doing it in the England level either, at international level. Which that could be Gareth Southgate, but regardless.
Bro,
Let's go off Southgate, man. My guy wants to play him on the left wing.
Lavia, you rate
500
Lavia, who's been
appearances, by the
injured
way.
this whole season.
Bro, sorry, this gets worse. In 500 appearances for Real Madrid, he has barely cracked 100 GNA, and this is Modric.
Yeah.
He's got 37 goals. For Real Madrid, he has 37 goals in 500 appearances.
And also, like, mind you, we're not talking about a Cam. Like, we're not talking about a
That's
De
the point.
Bruyne.
And no one's debating Modric is world class. Like, world class.
Yeah, absolutely. People think Enzo and Caicedo are overrated because as a team, we play terrible football. I don't even think, like... I don't know. I feel like as a team, we have moments of brilliance.
Sorry. How much GNA does Lavia have?
0 right now.
0.
No, forget right now, bro.
0.
Just in general.
Last season, yeah.
Probably 3.
I know he scored against us.
Actually,
I don't know. What do you have the number in front of you, Scott?
I don't. I can go and find it.
It doesn't matter, man. We don't listen. But we do get the point, though. I think they're trying to. I think all of us are trying to make though. Is that
sorry. Just on a side note. Just on a side note. Enzo in his entire career. So we're talking. What's that? 61, 95. Bear with me a second. I've got to do maths. 148 games. So nearly a fifth of the games, he's halfway to matching Modric's goal tally at Real Madrid.
But this is okay. Calm.
So hang on. No.
Go.
So why are you questioning Enzo?
That's like you're
Why are you bringing up Enzo?
You're contradicting yourself here. If you're not asking Conte for GNA, then why are you questioning Enzo for GNA? When Enzo's role isn't like a cam position, it's not an attacking role. He's a creative player. Like he dictates tempo.
Calm. I'll ask you again. So I'll ask you a question. Is Modric
Also, it wasn't
world-class
120 million. It was 100 million.
I was gonna say it's 100
Calm
million.
down with the price here.
Anyway, calm. Is Modric an elite level talent? Like yes or no answer. Is he an elite level talent? I'll wait.
Interesting to
and
see.
do more research. It's funny as fuck.
Yeah, I think it's funny. But like, I think what you're hung up on the most, Calm, is the fact that the price was so high, which I don't think I'd even disagree that how much we paid for Enzo was overpriced.
Cool. Modric is
here we go.
Cool. So as I pointed out, so how many goals does he have in 500 appearances for arguably one of the best teams to ever grace the football pitch in Real Madrid? See if you were listening. How many goals does he have? Modric, who's an elite level talent. How many goals does he have for Real Madrid?
I think you mentioned it, but I forgot.
I did. I was seeing if he's listening. Seeing if his ears
Yeah, you
working.
should have tested me if I was listening. Oh, hey.
Bro, Lavia has 3 goals in his whole career. He has 1 Premier League goal. Fuck off.
And one of it's against us, unfortunately.
It was against us. Hell.
That's the worst. But yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It's not just Calm. It's a good portion of the Chelsea fan base on Twitter that it baffles me the amount of disrespect.
Cool. I like how he ignores the question, by the way.
Yeah. Listen, it's again like, okay, how many goals did Conte have? How many?
You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question. You said an elite. We need superstar elite level, and I've just told you an elite level player that in 500 appearances got 37 goals. 37 goals.
Bruno's an attacking midfielder. Conte is a center defensive midfielder. Enzo Fernandez is a center midfielder. All different positions. You're trying to compare them all to Enzo. Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is, right? It seems to be, it's only with Real Madrid and Barcelona midfielders that you don't need GNA because, you know, and this isn't me saying you need GNA because, you know, Xavi and Iniesta didn't get it. They are generational midfielders. It's only those 2 clubs that you can go to and not be judged by your GNA. Anywhere else, you need goals and assists. It's only those 2 clubs where you don't need it. Yeah. If Enzo was at Real Madrid right now, no one would be batting an eyelid.
I mean, listen, you could be right, Calm, about this, but you brought up GNA as a statistic to compare it, and we did not pay 120 million. We paid 100. You're conflating.
I was going to say
Enzo's price with
Caicedo. He also does have superstar ceiling. 100% does.
I think so too. It's hard to find players that do what he's doing. The only other player I can compare is probably Kevin De Bruyne, and I don't even think Kevin De Bruyne does it consistently. Kevin De Bruyne, what he does, he takes a lot of chances and risks with his passing, and some of them he pulls them off. Some of them. Enzo does it pretty consistently.
I wouldn't even call them comparable. I mean, De Bruyne is a number 10, if anything. Like
exactly.
Even within that, they play different roles.
Yeah. I'm just saying the passing ability is somewhat similar in that sense, but even then, I think what Enzo does is more consistent.
With the passing ability from that position, I've heard it said on Twitter, and I agree with this. The only players from that area of the pitch that really come close is probably Trent or Kimmich in the world.
Trent's a right back. I don't know if
but when Trent inverts the midfield, he can play those balls, man. He is very, very good at that.
Yeah, and Trent, people rate Trent for that reason and almost that reason alone. So I'm just saying. I think people need to respect Enzo. I understand that we may have overpaid for him, which I get to a certain extent, but if he ends up performing, if he ends up giving us these brilliant key passes and, you know, being the workhorse in the midfield that he is and being effective in just getting the ball into dangerous areas and being effective in the midfield, then I'm not going to complain. He's a better Jorginho at best. I think that's... I mean, I did like Jorginho, and I think Jorginho is better defensively than Enzo is, but Enzo is better offensively than Jorginho was. So it is what it is. Take it or leave it. I think Enzo will improve. He's only, what, 21, 22? He's really young player. To be able to do what he's doing at his age, which I'm going to pull it up right now. Enzo. 22. Yeah. To be able to do and accomplish what he's done so far at his age, that's not a laughing matter. I think this kid does have the chance, the ability to be a world-class player. So I'm not going to write him off. I'm not going to get upset because he didn't give me all the GNA I want. He didn't. He's not changing the tide of the game because my strikers and my wingers can't finish his chances that he's created. I'm not going to get upset about that shit because it's not really his fault. So
the thing is, the question I'd be asking wouldn't be about, it would be more about like, it's not, is he like, have you ever paid for him? It's like, what I'd say is he holding us back? And like, if you think he's holding us back, then what would you have rather done? Would you have rather have paid 30 million to buy Zakaria after his loan last season? Obviously not.
Yeah,
if anyone really does, you're stupid.
Either. Yeah, Zakaria had a lot of ups and downs. He's not been nearly as consistent as
but this is my point though. If you have a problem with Enzo, then that's fine. But what is your alternative? Who would you have bought instead of him?
Yeah.
And I just don't see the problem right now. I mean, yes, we've all said that he could do better when he's in a shooting position, but at the end of the day, he's offering another side of the game. Like today, 7 key passes. That's unreal. It
is unreal, and we didn't have that prior to. Well, I mean, I think Jorginho did a little bit.
And the worst thing is, if he was at another team doing those exact same 7 key passes, we would be clowning this ownership for not dropping the money.
Imagine if we got McAllister and Liverpool got Enzo. We'd be pissed. I'm sure we'd be pissed. So it is what it is. But guys, we discussed the game. Thank you to the panel, Scott, Oliver, myself, Ahmed, and Real Chris who joined us earlier. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. It's good to be back. I'm going to be here for the rest of the year until I have to go on vacation again. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to smash up the like buttons if you haven't done so already. Does help out the channel and the algorithm. Also, be sure to copy and paste that raid message because we're going to raid Sarcasm City before they start. They're probably going to be talking about Man United losing 3-0 and getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup today to Newcastle, which you can go point and laugh at our mud brother in Christ, Flawless. So go ahead and copy and paste that rated message. Tell them where you are coming from. Subscribe if you're new to the channel if you haven't done so already. Ahmed is also here. He has a channel that he's trying to get to 1K, and he's been trying to get to 1K for quite a while now. So guys, you're slacking. You're lacking. Go ahead. Go ahead and check out the link in the description below so I can stop promoting him until he gets to 1K. So go ahead, check out the link below to the Bridge 258, help him get to 1K. Also check out all the other links in the description below. And this is also the moment where I give a shout out to the proper casual and higher tiered members, which goes out to OG Turbo Jesus, Dark Scott, Adrian, Will, A Solomon. Thank you so much for your continued support at that tier. And thank you for so much for the support for everyone else who is a member as well. Guys, we're going to be back again real soon. I think Saturday to talk about Chelsea news in the Casually Chelsea show. And then we'll be back on Monday as well to talk about the Tottenham game and see how that went. But as usual, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. As always, have a great night. Check out the memberships and stay casual. Peace.